I'm James, and this is my individual presentation for the Just Eat SRS project that I've just completed. Uh, the, the stakeholder I've chosen to go with is the software architect. So the main focus of this presentation is going to be on the system's structure, behavior, and its requirements that directly affect those architectural decisions. Yes. The Just Eat system consists of three main components. So you have the customer ordering app, the delivery driver app, and the restaurant dashboard. So from an architectural standpoint, the core purpose of the system is to provide fast ordering, secure payments, and real-time delivery tracking. Um, as a result now, the system depends heavily on external APIs, which they allow our program to connect to other computer programs, which may be Google Maps, gateways such as Stripe, that's a common one, and the Google Cloud, so we can store data. These dependencies shape much of the architectural design and introduce constraints that the architect must consider. So the first model that's relevant to the software architect is the domain model. This diagram represents the structural foundation of the system. At the center, well, at the top center, you'll see is the account class, which branches then down into customer, restaurant, and delivery driver accounts. These accounts interact with core entities such as the order, payment, menu items. You can see the trickle effect here. So for the architect, this model is important because it defines the data ownership relationships and the basis for all the database schemes. It also shows how the order workflow progresses from customers to restaurants and delivery drivers. Overall, this model shapes the underlying data-driven architecture of the application. Second key model for a software architect is the use case model. So this diagram will highlight the main actors, which of course is customers, restaurants, and delivery drivers, and the major system behaviors that the architecture must support. Critical flows such as browsing menus, placing orders, making payments, tracking deliveries, they all feature here um, and drive many architectural decisions. The use case model also reveals external integration points like GPS tracking, payment processing, and notification systems. This model directly informed the design of my contribution, UML test case 3, which maps the complete place order sequence, including validations, payment, authorization, error handling, communication with restaurants and drivers. The architect must also account for several key requirements. Firstly, we have functional requirements. These include input validation for payment and address details, creating and storing orders, notifying restaurants and drivers, and handling abnormal situations such as API failures or network issues. Next, we have non-functional requirements. So performance is critical here. You want a quick app, so orders must process in under 5 seconds, for example. Uh, you want the app to load maybe in under 3 seconds, and you're looking at reliability requirements. So ideally, you want monthly downtime to be under an hour. And lastly, we have constraints. So the system must use Google Maps, Google Cloud Platform, and Stripe, as we mentioned earlier. But then you're relying on external sources. Uh, you also need to detect any fraud, and then you need to account for both mobile use and web use. As a group, there were six of us, so it did get quite cluttered at times. But this is my personal experience. I took ownership of the UML diagrams, so that included the domain model and the goal requirements. I also supported the creation of the stakeholder matrix and aligning our system goals with technical requirements. Um, I took a keen interest in the UML diagrams using Canva, so I feel quite proficient using UML. Weaknesses, I think because my diagrams don't take up a lot of physical space on the document, maybe it appears that I did less work. There's definitely fewer written sections of mine, so I think I should have maybe pushed the elbows out a bit and just asked for more jobs. Um, yeah, I think I was maybe a bit too much of a people pleaser in that aspect. Short on time here, but for me, the most difficult part was mapping out my full place order UML test case. So this required identifying triggers, pre-post conditions, and especially documenting alternative flows. So to overcome this, I reviewed existing UML examples, asked teammates for input, and iteratively refined the test case so it matched our use case model. Um, Next time, I think I take ownership of a larger written section to balance my contribution. Uh, and I think I would communicate with teammates a bit more next time during diagram development, just so that there's a level of consistency kept. Um, but yeah, and then overall, I think probably take a bit more ownership of the project, just so we can compartmentalize sections of it, and it just felt a bit cluttered towards the end. Anyway, that's all from me, James Treanor. Thanks very much for listening. Take care.